In this unit, you're going to hear people talking about kinds of people and kinds of jobs. Let's start. Listening task 1. We asked 2 people a question. Which of these kinds of people have you ever been or would like to be? A performer, a captain, a patient, or a politician? Have either of the speakers been a performer, a captain, a patient, or a politician?
I have been a performer. Actually, I don't remember what my first one was, but the first memory of being a performer was dressing up as a boy with all kinds of clothing stuffed into my clothing to be a really chubby little kid and walk around and laugh at all my family and stuff like that. After that, I was in a play when I was about 10, Peter Pan, and I was one of the dancing pirates. And when I came out of it, my grandfather told me that I was a terrible dancer. So I never, ever performed again after that, nor did I ever dance again after that. And then I guess my most recent time of performing or acting would be I did some commercials and I modeled when I was living in New York for a couple years. And so that was quite a performance when someone's holding a camera in front of you and kind of just telling you to go. Something I'd really like to be at some point in my life, in one way or another, would be to involve myself in politics, because I'm very passionate about change and very passionate about people. And I could always get into public service in one way or another, but I think to really get to the bottom of something, to really make something change, you have to be on the political side of it, on the legal side of it. So I'd love to be in hold some kind of office at some point in my life where I could really make a change for the people that I care about and for the community around me.
Would I like to be a performer? Well, I don't think I have that kind of ego, even though I'm very outgoing and certainly usually have a lot to say about everything. But to actually get on a stage and perform for people, no, I don't think so. A patient, well, I have been a patient. I don't like being a patient, but sometimes we're forced to do things we don't particularly care to do, and being a patient does fall into that category. A captain, well, that's just totally out of my realm of thinking or consideration. I have no idea what captains do or should do, and I don't believe I've ever met one. So that lets the captain out. And a politician, absolutely not. That takes about the same ego as a performer, and but maybe with less ethics.
Listening task 1. Answers. Have either of the speakers been a performer, a captain, a patient, or a politician? Yes. Nicholas has been a performer and Ronnie has been a patient. Listening task 2. This time, you'll hear someone talking about the differences and things that are similar between 2 jobs or kinds of people. Think about what's the same and what's different between a captain and an employer. Does Tom have the same ideas as you? And what's the same and what's different about a politician and a criminal? Listen, does Tom say anything you think of? Listening task 2. Answers. These answers will depend on your own opinions. But Tom felt that captains and employers were similar because they both tell people what to do, and that criminals and politicians can also be quite similar. Listening task 3. Before we listen, there's one word we need to check. This is what you have when you need to make sure that something is done and that it's done correctly. It's your job to see that something happens. It's your responsibility. So some jobs, for example a police officer, have a lot of responsibility. OK, which of these jobs or roles do you think would be interesting and why? A. An owner. B. A professional. C. A leader. D. A captain. Listen to a conversation between Hannah and I. Are there any jobs or roles we really wouldn't want? Hello, Hannah.
Hello.
We're sitting in your lounge and you've just come home from work, haven't you?
Yes, I have. I'm very tired. Very tired indeed.
And I'm making you talk to me as well.
It's fine.
Well, thinking about work, we're going to talk
Yes.
a little bit about jobs or roles, things you can be.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you 4 kind of jobs or roles in life, and then we're going to talk about what you think would be the most interesting or
Okay.
boring and why.
Okay.
So the 4 things are, and they're quite general, an owner,
Yeah.
a professional,
A professional. Yes.
a leader,
Yes.
and a captain.
Wow. Okay, they are quite general.
Yeah. So for example, I mean, an owner, being an owner of something could be very interesting. If you owned something interesting like a restaurant.
It could be interesting, but also could be very stressful owning a restaurant.
Yeah.
I was thinking more when I hear the term owner. I think more of property, owning flats or owning houses,
Yeah.
and that's I think it would be quite interesting to be an owner of a property and if you had some input into renovating it or making
So like
it.
those people who buy old houses and then make them better and then rent them all out
Yeah.
or sell them for a lot of money.
That would be quite interesting, definitely. And yeah, if you could get lots of money, that would be fantastic. I think that would be quite interesting. But again, I think you'd have to be quite clued up with money. You'd have to know a lot about money and finance, which I don't.
Me
so
neither.
I'd be a terrible owner, I think.
Me too.
Maybe I could own a dog. That would be...
Well, you could make money out of owning a dog if it was a racing dog.
Oh, yeah, I was thinking more of just being a dog owner and not earning any money.
Yeah, that's nicer.
Yes.
What about a professional? That's a general term. What?
Well, I think anyone who works is a professional, unless you're really, really bad and unprofessional at your job. I'm a teacher, and I'd say I was a professional.
Yeah. What about being something like a professional sports person?
I would love that.
I
That's
thought you
something
might.
that I would love to earn money or recognition from doing a sport that I absolutely love. If I could be a professional windsurfer, that would be fantastic. To be paid and get to travel the world doing something that you love doing would be amazing.
Yeah.
So for me, being a professional sports person would be the ideal job.
That's the perfect one. What about a leader?
A leader, the term leader, the word leader to me says responsibility, and I don't think I would like the responsibility of being a leader.
Makes me think of a politician,
Yeah.
like leading the country. I wouldn't want to do that.
Think of how much responsibility you'd have, and how many people would be asking you questions all the time, and everyone would have huge expectations, and I wouldn't want that kind of
Too much
job.
stress, too much responsibility.
Yeah.
Yes.
Too many sleepless nights.
What about a captain? What does that make? What kind of job or role does that make you think of?
Well, when you first said captain, I immediately imagined being the captain of a ship,
Ah,
like a captain of a cruise ship or a
or a yacht.
or a yacht. But now we've talked about being a professional sports person, I'm now thinking that a captain could also mean being the captain of a team.
Yes.
So the captain of a rugby team, or the captain of a football team, or netball team, handball team. And I would, if it was that type of captain, I would quite like that job if I was going to be paid to be a captain of a
It's
team.
kind of leader, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose it is a leader, but the responsibility is not. You're not responsible for your country. You're not responsible for a huge group of people. Your only responsibility is that your team work well to win something, and if they don't win, nothing bad's going to happen. How about you?
So-
What would you like to be out of all of those?
Out of all of those, probably none of them. I don't want to be a leader. I don't like telling people what to do. A captain of a ship, if I knew how to sail, I suppose so. But I would not want to have a position in life where I was responsible for other people. I like being responsible for myself, and then I don't have to worry. If I had to be responsible for other people, even if it's only we win a game, we lose a game, or if it's responsible for people on a ship, I wouldn't be able to sleep because I'd just worry.
Well, this is the problem I have in my job, where I'm responsible for a class of children, and I find it difficult to sleep because I worry about things, about them and things I've got to remember to do with them, and so anything, I prefer jobs without lots of responsibility.
Yeah, an owner of something would be okay, because if I own something and it goes wrong, well, that's my problem.
Yeah, it's not going to, hopefully not going to affect too many other people, especially not their lives.
Yeah. Listening task 3. Answers. So, were there any jobs or roles we didn't like? Well, neither of us wants a job or a role with a lot of responsibility. For example, a leader or a politician. Congratulations! You've worked at improving your listening skills on the topic of jobs and types of people.